So what do we have here? This, ladies and gentlemen, is the new kid on the block. This is a Crown Mark 1 with the ultralight barrel, and also there in the back a 700mm barrel. So this will be my new baby for testing pellets, and I'll explain exactly why in a couple of seconds. Welcome back, folks. So after a very long consideration and deliberation and thinking and going back and forth, I decided to give the Impact a little bit of a rest. Nah, I'm just lying. No, what actually happened is, due to the huge amount of slug testing and pellet testing I do, I actually wore out all the springs, the hammer spring, the coil spring, you name it, all the springs that you can find in the Impacts, I wore them out. So I took it out to Patriot, thanks Gerard, that took the spare parts that I had, replaced it in my gun, set up the gun nice and everything. But now I'm sitting with a bit of a dilemma. My gun can't shoot, trust me, can't shoot on 110 bar any pellet under 1050 feet a second. So it doesn't help I do any pellet testing with that gun anymore. So what I've done is I've set my gun up now to shoot 30 grainers at 970 feet a second on that Power Wheel 5 roundabout. My rig is about 130 bars, so that is super efficient for that gun. And I'm going to use the Impact from now onwards just for slug testing, because it's got the heavy superior liner built for heavier slugs, and I'm going to focus on that direction for a little while. But I was so glad that Jorg from H&N sent me some pellets the other day. So I'm going to test these babies, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I did and how I did it. But obviously I needed a gun for that. Welcome to the new baby. Now this is the Crown Mark 1 in a pepper laminate stock. My rig is set at 140 odd bar, thereabouts. And this baby is sweet tuned for pellets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot the different pellets that I've got on 3 different speeds to give you guys an indication between slow, medium and high speed. And the highest that this gun will pop them is around about 850 feet a second for the 18 grainers. So this is going to be my pellet gun from now forward. This is what I'm going to use. This barrel is the 480 millimeter light barrel. Alright, it's the STX smooth twist, but it's the very light barrel. It is very light, that's why it's called a light barrel. It's nothing weird or wonderful. The liner inside, as I said, is the 480 STX smooth twist, and this is not the slug liner. This is the plain old smooth twist STX liner. On the other side, and I will be doing that a little bit later, is the longer barrel. So we're gonna have a look at a future video on what is the difference between the 700mm barrel and the 400mm barrel if I keep all my settings the same and I shoot exactly the same pellet. So watch out for that video, it will be coming in the next couple of weeks. So with that, I'm gonna check for speed, accuracy, and is the longer barrel really better? Because the problem is that barrel doesn't fit on the gun in the box. So I need to get a bigger box, or I need to make another plan. But at this stage, the longer barrel doesn't fit in the box, so the small little 480 stays on the box. So for me, this is a massive adjustment. I'm used to the 700mm on my Impact, going to a 480mm, such a nice little compact gun, and I've got a space here in front to put my bipod on. I don't have one yet. That's a skimp. Hello, I need a bipod. No, I'll buy my own bipod. That's how I work. It's got the 480cc bottle on. Settings here, you'll see is set at 0.17 or 22, and I've got my power wheel that I usually adjust my speed on. So for this couple of exercises I'm going to do, this is the only settings I'm going to change. Is the little power wheel here, and I'm going to put it on 3 different settings, low, medium and high, to give you guys a good indication of what the pellets are doing. There we go. We are going to shoot H&Ns today, and these are the new Baracuda 18s. They're supposed to weigh 18 grains. Thanks to Jorg at H&N for sending me these babies. 18.13 on the tin. So I did a random sample, took 10 pellets out of the tin, didn't select anything specific, weighed them, and they actually came out at an average weight of 18.27, which is slightly heavier than the 18.13s it's on the tin. But that's not far out. The difference between them was also very low, so on average not bad at all. The skirts on the back side is a little bit thin, so you need to handle this tin with care, otherwise you might bend those skirts at the end of the day. So that's going to be the 18 grainers, Baracuda 18 grainers. And then I also have got some other playful things to play with. I've also got the Baracuda Match. These guys are the 21.14 grainers, and my 10 samples was at exactly 21 grains, so slightly lighter than what's on the tin, but again not a huge difference in variation between the 10 tins there. Then my third one up for the challenge, and I'm gonna love this one, is the Baracuda Hunter. So in my opinion, and I haven't shot them ever before, it was still a sealed can when it came here, is that these babies should be quite good at hunting up to 40 to 50 meters. I'm going to test that as well. So these guys are supposed to run at 18.21 grains, and they're actually running at 18.5 on average. So again, slightly heavier than what's on the tin. But one surprising thing is these babies didn't have much of a variance between pellets. The average weight and the up and downs in the flow, very small deviation there. Very nice to see. And then the Baracuda Hunter Extremes. Now these are the guys that's supposed to pop quite nicely when you go ratting or something like that. In 18.52, my 10 subject pellets that I weighed came in at 18.67. So again, nothing to sneeze at in that regard. So these are my 4 H&N babies that I'm going to test. And to give you guys a proper analysis, it will probably be in the second video, so watch out for that one. I've also got the Air Arms 18 grainers as well, according to Air Arms 18 grain flat. When I weighed them, they came in at 18.08, and very nice, balanced and steady in that regard. Then also I need to compare this with the market, or the guys that's most prevalent in the market in South Africa in any case. These are the Exec Jumbo Heavy Diablos in 18.13, and they came in at 18.06 grain on average, but I saw a little bit of fluctuation within the weights itself, nothing to be sneezed at. And then the lightweight babies in the group. Now I don't like to shoot lighter than this because the wind just pushes them way too far, and these are the Jumbo Diablos, the Exacts, in 15.89 grain, and this tin is actually lighter. The 10 subjects that I weighed came in at 15.74. So that's my 7 pellets up for review. I'll probably split this video into 2 segments, otherwise it's just too long and too tedious, and you in any case click the forward button. I want you to watch all the results. So what I'm going to do with each of these babies, 3 different speeds, I'm going to shoot 2 5-shot groups per speed. Alright, so that will give us a good average. As I said, 3 different speeds, a low speed, a medium speed and a high speed. I'll put the speeds up in the corner as well as we go along to give you guys the exact indication of what they're doing. First test is going to be out at 30 meters, and then if the weather holds, I'm going to repeat this test at 50 meters, and then whichever one groups the best at 50 meters, I'm going to take out to 75 meters. Please hold weather. Alright, so that's the idea. 30 meters, 50 meters, 75 meters. I know that pellets can shoot very accurately up to 100 meters. I don't have any doubt in my mind regarding that. But at that distance, your velocity drop when it reaches the target versus the wind effect, in my opinion, is just too much. It's much easier to hit the target consistently with a slug at high speed versus a pellet at 800 and whatever foot per second I'm going to shoot them at. Enjoy, guys. If you think I deserve it, like, subscribe. I need a few more subscribers, so tell your friends about that. I need the sponsors to send me some more stuff. Otherwise I can't test them and I run out of ideas. But for you guys, I'll make a plan. Lekker. So for today's session, I've got some H&Ns to play with. So first and foremost, I've got the brand new Baracuda 18s. These babies are 18.13 grain. What I did do is I took a random weight sample of the 10, and you'll see that on average they are slightly heavier than what the tin says they are. Okay, it's time for the fun part of the session, actually shooting the pellets. Alright, so first up I'm going to shoot the Baracuda 18 grain. So on the tin it says 18.13. These are the normal Diablo type shaped pellets. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot 3 different speeds. I'm going to aim right center so you guys can see what the drop is with the different speeds on my gun. The gun using today is the FX Crown Mark 1, and the regulator is set around about 140 bar, but that's semantics. Let's get into the shooting. That's where the fun starts. going to shoot out 3 pellets just to make sure everything is 100%. Well, that's not a bad start, but you should expect this from pellets, basically touching each other on every single shot on all 3 different speed limits. Interesting work. Next up, we're going to shoot the Baracuda matches at 21.14 grains, but before we get there, time to go and measure those babies and show you guys the results.
Alright, so I was a little bit modest. This is perfect. This is what pellets need to do out of a gun. With a grouping like that, all 6 groupings under 12mm, I can live with that any day.
Next up, we have the Baracuda Match. Now these are the new 21 grain pellets, 21.14 according to the tin, but quite interesting to note, there's a difference in shape. This is not the normal Diablo type shape, it's got more of a pointed edge. In the front it's not as round, it's more pointy, and in the back there's a lot more lead in the back there, so a nice thick skirt. They don't bend easily, but the proof is in the pudding. Let's shoot them and see what they do. Match, 21 grainers, low power. Alright, so those were the 21 grainers. Quite impressed. I think they are very, very stable. I didn't push them out to 900 feet per second because most pellets start to destabilize at that speed. But if you go and have a look at Rolf Foster's video, and I'll put the link down in the description, Air Tag Hunting, he recently shot these babies out of his impact at 930 feet per second with any deviation or unstableness or whatever. Go and watch the video. 930 feet per second. I was quite impressed. I thought that these guys were going to destabilize above 900 feet a second, but Rolf proved me wrong again. I still prefer to shoot these babies at around about 850 to 870 feet per second. So let's go and measure up. I'll give you guys the results just now.
It looks like these Baracuda Match 21 grainers are going to pick up a serious love affair with my gun. I can't fault that at all. Those are some serious groupings. 8 shots on the last one, but that was me pulling 1 or 2 shots there, getting too excited about the accuracy of these pellets. Looking very promising. I wonder what they're going to do at 50 meters. See you guys now.
Right, next baby up for the shave is the Baracuda Hunter. Now this one is interesting because this is the closest you're going to get to a hollow point pellet as you'll ever get. So what they've done is basically the Diablo shape has been flattened out, and that has been replaced by a nice deep cavity. What they've done in the process is they've kept the weight nice and high, big hollow point, so this thing shouldn't expand when it hits something. I would love to do the play testing with these babies a little bit later, but enough chit chattering. Let's get to the actual shooting, starting on low power, going all the way up to maximum power again. 3 sighting shots. Now that is interesting. On 830 plus minus thereabouts, I'll go and check the chrono just now. Unbelievable accuracy with these guys. I did not expect it from them. I thought because of the pellet being a hollow point, it's not going to work. I've been proven wrong. On 30 meters, Wow, wow, wow. What nice accuracy for a pellet hollow point, and I hope it's got the expansion power that I'm praying for. I'll do the clay test on another day, but that is worth mentioning. Well done, H&N. I love these babies. Next up, it's going to be the Hunter Extremes. Watch this space, but I need to go and measure those first. Hold on, here it comes. Hold on.
This gave me goosebumps, goose pimples, and this utmost thing to go and shoot a goose. Wow, I did not expect this from the Baracuda Hunters. 3 of them under 8mm groupings, the other one on 8.4. Wow, wow, wow. I simply love them. Can't wait to shoot them at 50 meters.
Okay, so this brings us to the Baracuda Hunter Extreme. Now what makes this pellet so interesting, it's an 18.52 grainer, but it's got almost the same principle in the front as the JSB Haders. So it's been cross-sectioned in the front. I hope these guys will be as accurate as the first ones. So it's a hollow point with a cross-section, also built for expansion. But the main difference there is that the JSB's Hades are 15.89 grain in 2.2. This one is 18.52. So the UK shooters sub-foot 12 pounds might not like this one as much, but the rest of the world that can actually shoot anything with a little bit more power than the 12-foot pounder, they should love this. But let's see how they perform. 3-sighters. Let's go. Alright, initial impressions not that good. I'll have to go and measure, but I couldn't get a decent grouping on any of the speeds. If I compare the Hunter Extreme to the Baracuda Hunter, there's no two ways what I will decide. The Hunter wins hands down. The Hunter had immaculate groupings, whereas the Hunter Extreme just didn't want to. So I don't know if they got the cross that they put there, that if it's a stamp or however they do this, but I don't think they are 100% correct. I don't think that the weighting and the balance is 100% perfect. So H&N, you've got a little bit of work to do on the Hunter Extremes. I don't know if you're going to use this for ratting or whatever at a shorter distance, but at 30 meters they didn't want to group. Alright, so let's go and measure that and put the results up for you.
Okay, so I got a little bit spoiled with the Baracuda Hunters. The Hunters Extreme didn't even group close to the Baracudas, the other Hunters. So it's an obvious choice between the two which one I will shoot. I can't believe that little difference with the cross in front makes such a huge difference when it comes to the point of impact as well as the accuracy of these pellets. Well, that's another one under the belt. Nice one to learn. Thanks again H&N for sending me those pellets. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as me. Just a couple of final thoughts and then we'll wrap up.
So let's quickly recap the H&N pellets. So today I tested 4 of the H&N pellets. Now guys, I'm honest about this. It's the first time in my life that I've shot this H&Ns. I just tested it on the course for the first time this week. I'm a big supporter of JSB because of affordability, availability and all of that. But the H&Ns is making an inroad in the South African market as well, and I had to simply test these guys. So first up, the Baracuda 18 grainers. My first impressions is very good. Overall, a very nice weighted pellet. The skirts in the back is a little bit thin, so if you don't handle your tin with care, you can have bent skirts, so just watch out for that one. The Baracuda Match is probably the surprise of the day for me. At 21 grains, you can shoot these guys with the FX guns as well. You don't have to worry about turning your power down too far. Excellent grouping. I would love to see what these babies do at 50 and 75 meters. So hopefully next weekend, if the weather is holding, I'll be able to do that. The Baracuda Hunter was probably the surprise of the day. As a hollow point pellet, probably, I don't know if that's the first in the market. I know a lot of the guys took me out in my last video, but that's alright. I can take it. I can handle it. Slap me, papa, slap me. Alright, now, The Baracuda Hunters at 18.21 grain, I think that is going to be my hunting choice of pellets when it comes to 30 meters at least. So I need to take these babies out to 50 meters as well, because those groupings are just awesome. You can't argue with that. The disappointing one of the day was the Baracuda Hunter Extreme. In my opinion, with a pellet at 30 meters, that's not a grouping, that's a spraying. So I might be a little bit harsh there, but with all due respect, I can't go for headshots at 30 meters with these guys, and I will feel uncomfortable actually doing a humane killing in that scenario. Maybe with a body rat, that's still big enough. It's still under an inch, but at this stage, the Hunter Extremes didn't impress me at all. So what I will do is next week I'll take these babies out to 50 meters and 75 meters. Hopefully the wind won't be too strong where I shoot. I've got a little bit of a enclosed area with trees, but there is always wind coming through in between the trees as well. So I'm going to test these babies on 50 meters and 75 meters, and I'll give you guys the final results on that. Hold on for my next video as well. I'm going to do a comparison between the H&Ns and the JSBs as well as the air arms. All three babies in 18 grains. Watch this space.
That's all, folks.